You will never expect such a turn of events in a woman's life, especially in your 60s. But life, like most of the time, has a way of throwing unexpected things our way. I've reached a point where I can't keep this story to myself anymore. I ask you to listen without judgment, because this is not an easy thing to share. I lost my husband many years ago. She was the love of my life, and learning to live without her was much harder than I ever imagined. At that time, our daughter Mary was only 17 years old. We leaned on each other to get through the pain. We found strength in our bond. Mary grew up, graduated from college, and recently got engaged at the age of 22. I couldn't be happier for him. She had finally found a man she would love and build a future with. After the engagement, Mary and her fiancé Robert decided to stay with me until they moved into their new house after the wedding. Having them here made the house feel full again, and I enjoyed the moments we spent together as a family. But there was something I didn't expect. The time I spent alone with Robert began to change everything. Robert was a handsome, polite 26-year-old man, and he was often at home when Mary was at work. We would share breakfast together, chat for hours. Her smile, sense of humor, and warmth reminded me of the days when my late husband would fill our house with laughter and love. Gradually, I began to realize that a bond was forming between Robert and me, a bond that I had never felt before. December. It confused me and I tried to suppress it, knowing deep down that it was wrong. But no matter how hard I tried, my heart seemed to have a mind of its own. One morning, Mary had gone to work as usual, and I was in the middle of taking a shower when I heard the bathroom door creak. Robert was standing there naked. I was surprised. I couldn't speak. For a moment, I could not turn my gaze away from him. There was something in her eyes, a shared feeling, an unspoken understanding. Without thinking, I whispered, "Come." Robert hesitated, but then took a step towards me. I felt like I couldn't breathe as the warm water was pouring over us. His touch, his kiss was like nothing I felt in years. His hands were electric, filling me with a vitality that I had already forgotten. My heart raced, torn between fear and a wild, forbidden excitement. December part of me wanted to stop, to get away from what was happening. But another part of me, the part that longed for connection, completely surrendered. Things got even more complicated after that day. Every morning, Robert and I were alone while Mary went to work. We shared quiet breakfasts and found deceptive moments of intimacy in between. With every touch, every kiss, I felt that I was living in ways that I hadn't experienced in years. Robert made me feel young, desirable again, but underneath it all, a weight began to settle on my chest. What we were doing was a secret, and like all secrets, it began to feel like a burden. This relationship was pulling me in two different directions. On the one hand, it made me feel more alive than I have in a long time. But on the other hand, it was a betrayal of my daughter's trust. Mary had always seen me as the best mother she could hope for, and I didn't want to shatter that image in her eyes. Even though I knew I had lost a part of myself, it filled the void inside me. Now I feel lost, standing here sharing this story with you. I know what I did was wrong, but it still made me feel alive in a way I haven't felt in years. I find myself wondering, what would you do in such a situation?